Hi, this is Ricky Sun. I'm a Pi consultant. In today's video, I'd like to share with you how to verify a port is open on the Pi server where you want to install Pi server. And why are we doing that, right? Before the installation of the Pi Data Archive, we would want to do that because we want to make sure all the connections are in place before we perform the install, right? And I was a field service engineer at OSIsoft, and I suggest my client do it, right? And it will help you so much that you don't have to work with IT to figure things out in the office when you are there, right? And you can do it beforehand, right? Why not, right? Then you have less obstacle to overcome on site, perform the installation, right? And your client will be able to make sure everything's correct, right? So in this video, I want to share with you this. So the high level concept, right? Let's say you are inexperienced, right? Then you would install the Pi Data Archive and then interface, right? Pi interface. And then you try to connect to the Pi server, right? But it's many cases it's not working, right? They are not in the same network, right? The interface is in the process control network, and the Pi Data Archive sometimes is also in process control network, but many cases it might be in the corporate network, right? In the corporate, so this two separate network, and there's a firewall in between, right? And when there's a firewall, all the ports are closed, right? Usually, right? Unless you have a bad IT, then they open firewall for you, right? And then I remember, like, if they don't know what they're doing, they just open firewall, right? That's a bad practice. I mean, you don't open firewall, you only won't open the port that are necessary for the application, right? For example, Pi Data Archive is using port 5450, right? And you just have to make that telnet connection to the data archive, right? But if that data archive didn't install, right, how do you verify the connection, right? Just a couple lines of code in PowerShell, right? You can host a listener here, right? So it is going to listen to all the requests coming in, right? And yeah, in this video, I just want to share with you this script. This is pretty useful that I use many times. I give it to my client, and I wanted to make that test, right? I want to make that test connection, make sure it's good before we even perform the installation. Yeah, so let's dive into the video. So this is a demo that I am going to show you to make the connection test between pretending the left side is the Pi server, the right side is the client. It could be Pi interface as well, or Pi SDK utility, right? Make the connection to the data archive, right? And if you have an AF server and you want to test the connection, you just specify a different port, right? For AF server, it is port 5457, right? If it is a Pi SQL DAS, like data access server, then it's 5463. Oh, sorry, 61. 5461, right? If it is analytics, right, and then it is 5463. So depends on which application you running, it has different port. And for this one, it is my domain controller, and we don't have Pi server installed there. So this script will allow you to make it listening for 5450. So
I'm going to type in listener equals system.net.sockets.tcp listener and 5450, and then listener dot stop. So this is listening 5450 now, right? On PowerShell. It's running behind the scene now, right? And on the right is where I want to connect, right? Assuming I'm going to install PioneerFace there, right? So what I'm going to do is do the command here, test net connection, and then should be computer name, and then quote DC01, right? And then port, and then 5450. Doesn't seem to work, so I'm going to fix it, show you how to fix it. Fail, yeah, it said fail. So now it's failing, right? Why? Because there's a firewall in this window application. So we can pretend, this window firewall, like a real firewall, right? Real firewall managed by IT. This window firewall managed by ourselves. So I'm going to create new rules, which is like open a port within the firewall, right? So I'm going to set this up, right? Specify the port 5450, and then allow connection, and then next, and then call it test 5450, and you're done. So you make sure you specify in your inbound rule, right? Your connection is going into this machine, right? And you wanted to connect from your other machine here. So it should be set now, right? Even though it's failing on, let me move myself. Even though it's failing first time, now I have opened my port. So I'm going to test again. And I'm success, right? So this basically allows me to test my connection, allowing me to make sure things are working, all the connections are in place before I come on site. And let's say I'm going to close the listener. I just stop. Yeah, I'll call it stop. Yeah. So after you stop this, you cannot connect as well because you are not hosting a listener anymore. So it should not work. If it works, it will be weird, and I have to make this video again, right? So so it's not working. Yes. Yeah. So it's kind of annoying to. Yeah, it's not working. Cool. So see, and then if I put it back, and then we'll work again. See, it's true again. Yeah. And then just want to close the connection because I don't want to leave it open, right? That's my connection test before you even install an application. So thank you for watching, and please don't forget to subscribe as well as hit the bell icon. I will see you next week.